with the opening ceremony for the Expo and History Museum. We appreciate you being here. It's an exciting week. It's a special week for us. And we're going to open off the ceremony today with the presenting of the colors by the CMPD Honor Guard. So if you could all maintain your position and make sure you're standing, please. Thank you.
Detail. Subject. Go. Well. Ho. Forward. Ho. Play. Cry. Play. Cry. Play. Cry. Play. Play. Cry. Big. Turn. Detail. Hop. Hose. Go. Ready. Pace. Present. Pose. Order. Home. Ready. Pace. Part time. Hold. Play, try, penny, turn, forward, hold, play, try, play, try, play, try, play, play, try.
All right, thank you. So again, good morning. My name is Kevin Petrus with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. Again, it's an honor to have you all here. Today is September 26, 2023. Not a surprise to anyone in this room. I understand that. But what most people don't know is that 30 years ago to this date, there were two separate police departments that operated in this area. And no, I don't mean a police department and a sheriff's office like we have today. I mean two separate police departments. The Charlotte Police Department in the Mecklenburg County Police Department. But on October 1st, 1993, that all changed. Those two police departments joined forces, bringing about the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department that we all know today. This week, as we lead up to the 30th anniversary on October 1st, we're taking time to celebrate this momentous occasion and reflect on what has led us to be the department that we are today. We're currently standing in a temporary CMPD museum, erected to showcase the rich history and the beautiful progression from times before the merger and throughout the years. We're here because we want to share this history with you and have you all experience it with us. We're grateful to have some special dignitaries in attendance with us today, and I would like to take a minute to recognize some of them. Charlotte City Manager Marcus Jones, Council Members Tark Bakari, Dante Anderson, Ed Driggs, Lawana Mayfield, and Victoria Watlington. Mecklenburg County Commissioners Susan Rodriguez McDowell, George Dunlap, and Elaine Powell. Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden. Former Charlotte Mayor Richard Vinroot, and current Charlotte Mayor Vi Lyles. We have a lineup of 4 speakers with us today to share more about this merger and help you understand more about what's going on in the city then and now, and about the events of this week. Kicking us off today is Chief Johnny Jennings, Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. Chief.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What an honor it is to be here and stand before you today. But I'm going to start out with a little story. And this story is going to go back to December of 1990. When a young man graduated from Appalachian State University and didn't really know what career path this young man wanted to take, and then moved to Charlotte in 1991 without a job, because the word was that Charlotte was an up-and-coming community that was the best place for young executives to grow and develop. So moving to Charlotte and fast-forwarding into 1992, this young man applied for the police chief or police officer's position with the Charlotte Police Department. And not sure that this person wanted to even become a police officer, but took that step and said that they're going to take that risk and become a law enforcement officer, and that's not what his intent was originally. So as that young man began to get phone calls and look into what the job actually entailed, he joined the Charlotte Police Department at the time in May of 1992. A year later, a little over a year later, the departments merged from the Charlotte Police Department and the Mecklenburg County Police Department to the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. That young man I'm speaking of is standing before you right now as the police chief of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. And I couldn't be more proud to serve not just this city, but this agency. Going back 30 years, when we merged on October 1st of 1993, going 30 years back, I had the same anxieties that many of some that were in this room when that merger occurred. We didn't know what were our cars going to look like. Thank God they don't look like the yellow one that's out there. But we were, the anxiety, what were our patches going to look like, our badge, what was all of that going to entail when we merged into the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department? And thank God for the leadership within our city and county government that said that this was something that was needed so that we could join forces to better serve our community. And I stand before you today to say that the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department is the finest police department in the country. And we have the finest men and women who serve our community every single day, that they treat people with respect and dignity, which is what is the core of our values within the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. As we move forward, the future is bright. And we've seen some struggles over the last few years within policing, not just in Charlotte, but across the country. But as we look ahead, we're seeing applications going up. We're seeing our academy classes going up. We're adding academy classes. We're going to continue to thrive, even during the worst of times. And I'm very proud of that. And as I tell our people, let's try to be the best part of somebody's worst day. And if we can accomplish that, then we will serve our community well. So again, I want to wish everyone in our community a happy 30th anniversary for the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. Thank you for those who came before us, those who built this foundation to where we are now, to be able to boast how great our agency is. And thank you for being here and supporting the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department. I appreciate each and every one of you.
Our next speaker is former Charlotte Mayor Richard Vinroot. Mr. Vinroot served the Charlotte City Council from 1983 to 1991, and then served as the mayor of Charlotte from 1991 to 1995. He's going to come today to share more about his experience as mayor during the merger. Mr. Vinroot.
Thank you, sir.
I think you'll hear me.
I think so.
I'm sorry to be slow and sort of hard to get to places, but thank you for being here. Another young man was involved in our city at that time, Chief. I had been elected a couple of years before you got here, and I didn't have gray hair, and I was not crippled, and whatever you see today. And when I came into office, I actually was bold enough to, or foolish enough maybe, to propose we ought to merge our city and county governments. That was one of the things I ran on, and my opponent took me to the cleaners on that. That was a terrible idea, and a lot of city and county people did as well. That didn't go very far. I invited in mayors from other cities that were consolidated, Indianapolis and Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Jacksonville, Florida. We spent maybe most of a week trying to advocate for the merging of the governments. That went nowhere. The city and county officials who were elected, like me, thought that we were too important to do away with half of us, so it didn't go well. I subsequently made the statement, well, we ought to consider at least merging the last two of our services that were not consolidated, the police and the parks and rec, and maybe even the manager's jobs as well. Well, that didn't go very far either. But as to the merging of the police and the merging of the Parks and Rec, the police actually had a bit of an appeal to the rank and file, because what was happening is we were growing our Charlotte territory as we annexed territory out toward the county borders, and that was shrinking the county police force. So members of the rank and file in the county were in the police force thought that was not a bad idea. They at least would have more territory and more opportunity to grow as opposed to shrinking in their responsibility. Fortunately, there was a great leader of the county commission at the time, Fountain Odom, who came to me and said, "Richard, you know, that's not a bad idea." But he said, "You know, there are going to be some opposition among the police leaders because, and certainly among the politicians, because there is among politicians, this is something that I've come to know, a feeling you've got to have your own police force or you're not somehow a full-grown man or woman." So the idea of county leaders giving up their police force was something that they were pretty hard to come by. In any event, we did talk them into the swap of the Park and Rec going to the county and the county police coming to the city. Fortunately, the leader of the county police, who was a childhood friend of mine, Vic Orr at the time, I don't think he was excited about it, but he at least didn't oppose it publicly. Ronnie Stone was the chief of the city police, and Ronnie, of course, was all for it because we knew how wonderful the men and women were that worked in the county police organization. So we pulled off the merger. We voted for it, both city and county. I don't think it was unanimous, certainly not among the county officials. But I think it's worked well for both the city police, now city-county police, this wonderful organization, and it certainly worked well, I think, for Park and Rec on the county side. Another thing I'll say as I step down is when I came into office, we had the worst period of crime in, I think, the city's history up to that time. 90-some-odd homicides in a city of half the size of our city today. And so I ran on the idea we're going to increase our police force come hell or high water. We did while I was mayor. We added 200 more officers to what was the city police, and then when we merged, we, of course, maybe almost double the size of the police. And they are the most important men and women, I think, in our community today, protecting all of us and keeping us safe. And I'm so proud to have been a little part of the decision to make what is now the Charlotte-Mecklenburg police force. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Van Root. Excellent insight. Our next speaker is very well known and likely needs no introduction, but for the sake of formality. Our next speaker is Mayor Vi Lyles, Mayor of the City of Charlotte. She's going to talk about how Charlotte has changed in the last 30 years. Mayor.
Good morning, everyone. Before I start the prepared remarks, I just want you to recognize how important Richard Van Root has been to this community and his service as mayor. He is an advisor and a confidant for me and someone that I have such great respect for. I just want to say thank you, Richard, for all that you've done for us. You know, I have to say that we are joined by probably a number of people that were around when this group of people consolidated. So I'd like to actually ask those of you who were on this county force as well as the city's force, please raise your hand so that we can recognize you. 30 years younger, that's all we can say. So if I would let George Dunlap come up here as the commissioner, he would tell us about being someone in the school system that helped kids so much be successful. And Gary, I think he's a great sheriff, but he's even better as one of our officers, and the things that you've done and accomplished in your career, I want to say thank you. We truly appreciate it. Now, I know there are a lot of people in here that are from the county and the city, but I just want you to know that as we grow, and what we're trying to accomplish in this community is something that I think is unheralded enough. We have a regional system now. The way that CMPD works across the footprint by helping us accumulate the federal fundings that's necessary, but only if we count every part of our community, every part of our region. The things that these officers have changed and done to support the quality of life in our city has been absolutely amazing. And I have to join Mayor Vinroot in saying that you're still one of the very best organizations, community organizations that we have. You're not just about safety. You're about the people. And I have to also say that we have the best police chief in the country. Give him a hand. I want you to know that he stands up for the officers, he communicates with the elected officials, and it has been a very great relationship that we've built. But that's not why I'm here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this. I actually was working for the city when this merger happened. I'm just very young looking, I hope to be able to say that. But it was in 1993 when this merger happened. And if you remember people like Malachi Green, we were trying to figure out how to deal with crack cocaine in our neighborhoods, how Belmont, see, I'm really showing my history, right, Brad? How we would actually figure out how that we could deal with the homicides. And we actually coined the term hotspots all across the city. You know, parts of our community today that we would look at and say, if we had just changed how we talk about it, it would have been better. But this merger helped make it possible for us to change. So we did do things differently. The police department became a community-based organization. We stopped trying to figure out everyone that we could actually arrest and put in to a situation that they would never come out of in a way that was more positive. And community policing was a really step ahead. We have innovation and we have done things in this community that are very forward-thinking, and I think that the day's Charlotte is because of the leadership that we had in the past, the people that have served us. So as we celebrate this, I have to recognize a few people. You've heard Mayor Vinroot, but I remember Pam Seifert and Kurt Walton, two former city managers that really helped put this together. Because a lot of it was about, you know, how are we going to pay taxes? What proportion, all of that. All of these things are details, and someone had to make that happen. Mayor Vinroot gave us the vision. Pam and Kurt gave us the mechanics and the operational ways to do it. So today, while we're celebrating this, we know that we have to continue our commitment to safety and well-being of our Charlotte community. We know that we're struggling through some tough times now, that homicides are up, things are going not as well as we would like. But I want you to think about where we can go forward and how we can support CMPD in what they're doing, because with their support, it brings a sense of safety to our community. But we're also grateful to our residents, the residents who have accepted the idea that we can be a city, one of the top cities in this country, and we can do this by working together, having the same ideas and opportunities to serve. So when we talk about our corridors of opportunity, when we start talking about quality of life, we do it with CMPD working with us together. All of us can do this. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak at this wonderful occasion.
CMPD Major Brian Foley has been instrumental in the planning of the celebration for this week, in addition to the expo that we're all standing in right now. As our final speaker, he's going to come and share with us more about the celebration of this week and all the events that are planned.
Good morning, everyone. The story that the chief told just a little while ago has some policing as being a career, but we need that. We need young people to begin to look back at policing as a career opportunity. Very thankful to Chief Jennings for the opportunity to plan this project and to put it into place. It's taken a lot of hours and a lot of work, but I'm very, very proud to represent all of the currently serving men and women of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, as well as honor the memory of those who have served before us with Charlotte and Mecklenburg County Police Departments. Those individuals, both past and who are still with us, deserve to hear their stories be told. And this is that opportunity today. What you see here in this space is a museum, and this museum contains historical artifacts and memorabilia that go back over 160 years of policing in this community. It is a fascinating story. Some of the things that I've touched and held and looked at and referenced have just really taken me back to a better understanding of what people had to deal with and the growth and change in policing. And what Chief Jennings said is absolutely true. We've had to change. Policing has to change and will continue to change as we progress because the communities change along with their expectations of what they feel policing is. This week is significant for our employees. We have had a lot of work to plan, but a lot of opportunities for our employees to share in this history. We produced a series of commemorative items, which you've seen in some of these cases behind you. There's a special badge which honors the 30th anniversary. That's being distributed to all of our sworn employees. We also have a series of special events. This museum will be open this week. There will be a public day tomorrow from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. The public is welcome to come and tour the facility. Come see what history of policing is in Charlotte-Mecklenburg. Please, we would love to have you come. We have an alumni event planned on Thursday evening where we're bringing back our retirees. It's something in my memory that we've never done, which is an opportunity for all of our retired folks to come back and reminisce and spend time and see each other again. Oftentimes in policing, when you end your career, it's a sharp cutoff, and there's very little opportunity for you to talk about or reminisce or go back and revisit your career and your lifetime spent policing in this community. It's also an opportunity for our younger people to interact with those senior people and maybe to learn some about their stories and their history. That's always a good thing. We have a family day planned on Saturday. It's an opportunity for all of our employees and their kids to come out, enjoy, and have a good time together, fellowship, have food and beverages, and just really have an opportunity to take some of the stress off and be together. I'd like to thank some of the sponsors. We have had a lot of people and organizations support this effort. The space that you're in right here was shared with us by Crescent Communities. They bent over backwards to help us. It's a wonderful space. It's a great opportunity for us to display all of our memorabilia. JLL, which is the management company that helps to manage this space, has bent over backwards as well to provide us with all of the things that we needed to set this up to be enjoyable for you. Our presenting sponsors, the Quick Trip Organization, the Police Foundation, Keffer Automotive, and Lowe's Home Improvement. And there are a number of other sponsors that you'll see behind you on our banners and in our marketing materials. We would like to thank all of those sponsors who either provided funding or in-kind donations to make this happen for all of our employees. Chief, thank you again. We hope that we met the Chief's vision to be able to give you an opportunity to see this rich history of policing in Charlotte-Mecklenburg. And with that, I will close my comments. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate all the media who's here with us today. Do we have any questions for any of our speakers today before we close out? No? Okay. Thank you again for being here. This is certainly a special place. It's a special occasion. And I want to speak directly to those in our community who might be watching now. This is a celebration for our current and former employees for sure. But this is also for you. It's for you because this is your police department and this is your history. So with that, we want to welcome you out, as Major Foley said, this week to this expo, open tomorrow from 9 to 5. We are in the One Independence Center in Uptown Charlotte. The address is 101 North Tryon Street, 101 North Tryon Street. Come into the lobby of the building, and you'll see us when you walk in. Again, thanks for being here. City of Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, all of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department, happy 30th anniversary.